Okay, now we're at the junction of the Arnight Trail and the Knoll Trail. And it's the northern end of the Knoll Trail. The Knoll Trail continues off in this direction. The Arnight Trail heads down in this direction and is a kind of a cutoff shortcut to the Oak Creek Canyon trailhead area. So what we're going to do is take the Knoll Trail now along the base of the Rainbow Mountains and head up to the Pine Creek area where we will connect with the Dales Trail. And almost immediately the Knoll Trail dives down into Juniper Canyon, which you see below us. Little jog down to the base of the canyon, then up the other side on the Knoll Trail. This is looking up Juniper Canyon toward Rainbow Mountain on the left, Juniper Peak on the right. And if you were climbing Juniper Peak, you'd head over to that pointy stone, which I'll call the Juniper Canyon landmark stone. You can see it from way above. It's a good way to find your way back and also to find your way up. And so if you were climbing Juniper Peak, you would continue on past that landmark stone and up Juniper Canyon's opening. If you were scaling the Rainbow Mountain cliffs ahead, you would be more to the left and you'd find an approach trail up there that would get you up to the base of the Rainbow Mountain cliffs where you could begin your climb. So those are two different possibilities, and in between Juniper Peak and Rainbow Mountain is Rainbow Wall, a sheer cliff of a couple thousand feet. I don't think anyone climbs Rainbow Wall. I don't know. Maybe they do. Okay, so let's cross Juniper Canyon now and then continue heading north along the base of the Rainbow Mountains. By the way, there is Bridge Mountain. And between Bridge Mountain and Juniper Peak is Pine Creek Canyon. Give you an idea of where we are. Do a quick 360. There you can see the La Madre Mountain Cliffs on the north end of Red Rock Canyon. Then in the center is Turtlehead Peak. And then we have the Calico Hills. And finally, looking more into the sun, probably a little glare here, is Blue Diamond Hill. Okay, now at the base of Juniper Canyon, and yes, you could ascend through the canyon, but wow, a lot of brush to encounter down here. And that would be if you're heading up Juniper Peak, and there's looking down Juniper Canyon. These canyons definitely have a lot of brush in them and boulders and ledges. So if you're heading up the Rainbow Mountains, if you can find a pathway up one of the sides of the canyons, you're doing a lot better. So here we go, ascending out of Juniper Canyon. Let's just see, we'll get a better perspective once we reach the top of the canyon here. Yeah. So here we are again on the Knoll Trail, continuing, and there we're looking up Juniper Canyon, down into Juniper Canyon, and on down Juniper Canyon toward Red Rock Canyon. So let's continue forward northward on the Knoll Trail. Continuing northward on the Knoll Trail, here is another junction. It's unmarked actually, and if you're on the Knoll Trail, you definitely want to stay either to the right or the left. But if you're wanting to head up to Juniper Peak, I guess this little junction would be a good way to go. And you'd head up this unmarked trail. It'd lead you to Juniper Canyon, to that Juniper Canyon landmark boulder, and then onward up into Juniper Canyon. Or alternately, you could head over across Juniper Canyon up ahead to the base of Rainbow Mountain and do some climbing. Okay, onward along the Knoll Trail. Again, the reason I pointed out this junction is that you're not going to see anything that says head up this unmarked trail to summit Juniper Peak, or on the other hand, to climb Rainbow Mountain. If you continue on the Knoll Trail, you'll end up back at Oak Creek Canyon Trailhead. So this is an important point to head up into the Rainbow Mountains if that's what your adventure is. On the Knoll Trail, headed north, and I want to point out this little deviation. There are a number of unmarked deviations on this trail. This little trail that's very, very faint, unmarked, will take you up more toward the base of Juniper Peak's foothill here. And there is an extension of the Knoll Trail, little bit more just along the base of Juniper Peak, which is ahead. And that's an alternate way if you're heading from Pine Creek Canyon to circle around the base of Juniper Peak and then head up Juniper Canyon. What you're looking at here is Pine Creek Canyon, and that pointy rock there is the tip of Mescalito Pyramid, which is a beautiful formation. We'll see that a little closer. But for now, we're continuing along the Knoll Trail toward Pine Creek Canyon. On the Knoll Trail heading north, and we're at the upper edge of Pine Creek Canyon, and this trail is going to descend down into Pine Creek Canyon below, and you see that cement slab down there used to be a dwelling, and we're going to, and you can see trails down below. Let's take a look, see if we can nail that. There we go. There's a trail junction that is on the Pine Creek Loop Trail. So, and then you can hear the creek below. Water's flowing pretty heavily. Okay, so we're going to continue on the Knoll Trail down into Pine Creek Canyon, over to that junction below. We'll take a look at those junction signs down there, and then continue on northward. And I believe the Knoll Trail ends at Pine Creek Canyon, and then that's where you hit the Dales Trail to continue north along the Rainbow Mountains baseline trails. Continuing to descend into Pine Creek Canyon, And here you see Mescalito Pyramid right in the center of the canyon, dividing it into a south and a north branch. South to your left, north to your right. And now you're looking at the baseline cliffs of Bridge Mountain. Bridge Mountain up in the distance up there. You can see the tip. There's the tip of Bridge Mountain. World-class rock climbing on these baseline cliffs of Bridge Mountain and also on Mescalito Pyramid. Okay, let's continue down to Pine Creek Canyon on the Knoll Trail. An even better view of Mescalito Pyramid. This is one of the best perspectives. Descending now through this brush tunnel into Pine Creek Canyon, where we are going to cross Pine Creek, trying to keep our feet dry. That should be a challenge. It's flowing so strongly at this point. And you can see as we enter the canyon, this is the brush that you will face. And in fact, even more thick as you navigate the canyons at the base of the Rainbow Mountains. And normally you don't have a trail when you're up in the canyons. You just face a wall of brush. Okay, and here's part of the Pine Creek Loop. We have recording on the Pine Creek Loop Trail, and here we are heading in this direction, taking a right on the loop, and soon we'll be crossing Pine Creek. Okay, we've reached Pine Creek. We're on the Pine Creek Loop Trail at this point, which is actually a portion of the Knoll Trail, and looking for a place to cross with dry feet. It looks like these boulders just might do it, but I'm gonna have to stop the video for a moment in order to make this crossing. Well, that was pretty tame. If that's the biggest adventure of the day, crossing on these boulders. It's a pretty lame day as far as adventures, but beautiful day as far as just enjoying the base of the Rainbow Mountains. Continuing now on the Pine Creek Loop Trail and Knoll Trail, heading north. Okay, now we're at the point where the Knoll Trail meets up with the Pine Creek Loop Trail, and a brief loop, 0.9 miles. We took the eastern end of the loop. Here is the northern trailhead for the Knoll Trail. It takes you back to the Arnight Trail, back to the Oak Creek area, passing through Pine Creek Canyon. Mescalito Pyramid, a foothill of Juniper Peak. Up in this direction, the tip of Rainbow Mountain. And as I mentioned, there is a north branch and a south branch. South branch to your right in Pine Creek Canyon, north branch to your left. Climbers normally head up the north branch to the rock climbing approach trails and climb Mescalito Pyramid and over here the baseline cliffs of Bridge Mountain. So let's continue on down the Pine Creek Canyon Trail toward the trailhead, but we're going to take a left and head north on Dale's Trail next. Let's take a little deviation at the beginning of the Knoll Trail, or the northern end of the Knoll Trail, and let's just take a look at this little structure. Was once a home, probably before the time Red Rock Canyon was established. And you can see the at the base of Pine Creek Canyon, you see a little meadow below. So here is that little structure someone once called home. And we'll continue down the Pine Creek Canyon Trail till we hit the intersection with the Dale's Trail. And here's the front door with a nice little stairway leading down to Pine Creek Canyon. Must have been a beautiful home. What a view. And this is what they would have seen from their front door. You could hardly do better than this for a view. Wider view of Pine Creek Canyon. Juniper Peak, Rainbow Mountain, and Mount Wilson. There's Mount Wilson, Rainbow Mountain, and some of the foothills of Juniper Peak, Mescalito Pyramid, it's a world-class rock climbing destination. And the foothills of Bridge Mountain, another world-class destination. Just imagine scaling these cliffs. Okay, looking down the Pine Creek Canyon Trail, another perspective of Pine Creek Canyon. You can see the canyon, the pines below us. Then Mount Wilson on the left. Then to the right and north, Rainbow Mountain. Juniper Peak area. Juniper Peak is actually behind this hill in the foreground. Mescalito Pyramid, dividing Pine Creek Canyon into north-south. And the foothills of Bridge Mountain. Continuing now toward Dale's trailhead.